Hi again. This is John Shira, your Chief Strategist Officer for today's whiteboard session here at the boardroom. Welcome, and we're going to talk about a very popular and very much requested topic in the way that you price your services to your customers. There's two methods that we have to talk about here because they seem to be the predominant methods that are used within the industry. Those are online or like remote counseling, potentially brick and mortar, as well as no counseling at all, just selling online nutrition services. We call it non-human intervention. That means no one is there pretty much to speak directly with the client. There's no type of connection through social media, chat, none of that. So non-human intervention is web-based only, self-serve, self-help, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to talk about all these different methods and how you should strategize your pricing structure to get the maximum revenue and the maximum results for your clients. So we're going to talk about, we're going to segment these up into three areas. We call them no talk, which is non-human intervention. One time, maybe there's a kickoff, initial consult where you collect information, and then there's the recurring where you're setting up follow-up appointments. You're working with clients on a repeat basis to keep them motivated and keep them accountable. We're going to use a simple XY axis graphical representation here of two values, two primary values that pretty much steer this whole conversation. And that has to do with your price, how much you should charge, against how much time you are investing with the customer. Remember, your biggest value, your biggest asset is your knowledge. It's your motivation. You're a leader. You're an icon. You're a mentor. And obviously, if you're in this business, you have some type of way of having people skills that motivate them to reach their goals, or you wouldn't be doing this. So you have a skill, and that skill must be paid for in relation to time. So the first one we're going to talk about is no talk. And this could be selling online nutrition services. And essentially the way that is going to work out best for you is to maybe have an initial one-time activation fee, and then follow that up with a small monthly fee where they have access to the technology, such as a mobile app, online tools. These could be additionally added up for value with blogs, videos, and things of that nature. So it's kind of a membership or a subscription-based model to keep your customers engaged, keep them motivated, and that usually is going to bring in the lowest price tier because you have very little time with them, if at any at all. So we're going to say here that your price is going to be relative to the amount of time, and we're just going to say you're going to charge an initial one-time setup of, say, $25. Okay? $25, and then after they set themselves up, remember they're doing it themselves, DIY, self-serve, then you should have a monthly payment that comes automatically out of their bank account to build that passive income stream that is small, and I'll explain why here in a minute. So let's say they sign up initially, and then what you're going to do is have payments that are roughly, let's say, $9.99 a month, okay? So here we have no time, no FaceTime whatsoever. So we're going to say here that the revenue comes in here, and at $9.99, this is the direction it's going to go, and it's going to be flat. Okay, so the the amount of time that you spend with them is nothing, but this also represents the duration of their access, or how long they're going to maintain their membership. Okay, so we're down here in the 0 area. It's low income for you, but it's something that could potentially be long-term, a great way to build a passive income stream. And let me explain why. Let's use the health club model. Perfect example. Some of the big box chains out there were amazing at doing this. They charge you $19.95. We had an activation fee, be $19.95, and then you pay that and you sign up for 2 years, whatever. And like most Americans that struggle with motivation, they would continue to pay it because either they were locked into a term or they were too lazy to cancel. And some of the clubs made you go in to cancel, or you had to go online on an account, you had to send something in, and most people didn't bother with it. They didn't bother with it, and this is the most important thing, because that $19.95 is sometimes considered, in most of our demographic income phrase within North America, it's disposable income. So disposable income is the key. If you can make this price, okay, and let's say it's $9.99, if you can make this price something that's easy for people to digest and not be impacting their bank account, it's easy to pass up on their statement, or they look at it and they go, yeah, I gotta get in there, I gotta get back on my meal plan, I gotta get my recipes, oh, what's that grocery list, I got it in there. And they're going to want to have access to it, right? Especially in those key times of the year, such as post-holidays, pre-vacation, pre-class reunion, pre-whatever. Okay, there's all the, new date, right? So the lower this is, the more it falls into that sweet spot of disposable income, the better chance that they're going to continue to pay month to month to month to month, kind of forget about it, but have the intention on using it, but they just never get around to canceling it. Then all of a sudden one day they're like, oh yeah, it's kind of like my Hallmark membership. The e-cards online, I think I pay $9 for the year, and I probably use it, I don't know, 4 or 5 times at most for my parents or my kids or whatever. So it's kind of like that. The year comes around, it automatically renews. I don't even see it. My kid's Xbox membership, right? Xbox Live. It's so small on there, I just keep passing it up, even though he may not even be using it. So that is what we call the no-talk revenue model. Remember, again, maybe a small activation fee right here, and something small that is a steady, reoccurable membership fee where it has absolutely no time involvement with you whatsoever. We're going to move on now to the one-time consult, and then following up with monthly. So let's talk about that for a minute. This is very popular. I would say it's the most popular. One-time consult, let's say it's $99 one-time setup fee. I'm writing very small here, I'm sorry. We also have some out there that are charging $199. Okay? Now, what happens after they pay this? Well, then you set them up on a small, reoccurring monthly fee. That reoccurring monthly fee could be something that follows this principle, where it is a disposable income type sweet spot amount, right? So that would fall in line with this guy right here. So you have your price, and what are you going to spend with that person? You're going to maybe spend 30 minutes to get them set up. Okay, so that's where this FaceTime comes into play. And then from here, you have, so if we were to draw a line down here like this, and then it would scoot across and do this line and jet out, right? for ongoing, even though your FaceTime with them is after the initial consult is very, very minimal, if anything. Maybe you see them in the gym, on the gym floor, that type of thing, okay? Now, I want to talk to you about the importance of these one-time activation or setup fees or initial consult fees. You know, and I know, the biggest motivational point in anyone's experience with health, fitness, or weight loss is when they first come to see you. Why? Because most of them have experienced something in their life that is getting them up off the couch and getting them to come to see you. It could be vanity. Somebody made a comment to them, how they look. It could be they just got back from the doctor's office. Triglycerides are high, cholesterol's high, they're pre-diabetic. They have a cruise coming up, a family reunion, a high school reunion, whatever. All these people that have to wait until an event in their life to do anything are the ones that are going to pay the big activation or setup fees. And I've seen these setup fees go up to close to $500. So take advantage of this. If you can do this and you have the time, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever, 60 minutes, get that activation fee up front, because it also commits your customer, right? They're already invested in it. It's not a lot of money, and you have a lot of value and knowledge to share with them during that 30-minute or that initial time period. Then, after you set them up with a plan to follow, then you have your reoccurring. And trust me, these folks that do this are going to be a heck of a lot more committed than somebody just cruising out on a website, paying $25 and then $9.99, and then may cancel, somewhere after, 30 days or whatever, right? Okay, next one we're going to talk about is recurring. This definitely is the most powerful and the most result-producing plan, except most of you may not have the time to do this unless you specialize in nutrition, and that's really all you do. But I know most of you that are listening to this video, you may be a medical doctor, so your time is limited with your patients. So you may want to set up maybe your nurse practitioners or your assistants to perform these follow-ups. So let's talk about this structure. What we're going to do is we're going to have an initial one-time payment. Okay, so we're going to start here, and at the, let's say it's $199 again, or it's $99. Okay. Then what happens is after so many weeks, there's going to be another follow-up appointment. And this is where you need to decide, are you going to charge for the follow-ups, or are they going to be part of a recurring monthly amount? So let's do this. Let's say you're going to do it as a recurring monthly amount where the follow-ups are included. So you're going to do $99 or $199 down, but then you're going to charge, say, $49 a month, right? Okay, so we're coming down this line down here, and then we're cutting across here. Okay, because it's going to yield a higher income monthly, because why? There is going to be these follow-up meetings. And these follow-up meetings, the purpose of them is to keep them on track, make them accountable, and obviously continue to pay the monthly subscriptions. And this, if you have logistically and operationally the time to do this, this is definitely the way to build a very successful nutrition practice. This is what a lot of wellness counselors do, life coaches, dietitians that are doing a lot of the face-to-face counseling. This is where their income and money stream is coming from. The only challenges here is you face a lot of uphill battles when the client starts plateauing. If you can break through those plateaus, you're going to be a champion, and you're going to be able to continually charge them a higher monthly rate than your, obviously your no talk or your one-time setup where you're not talking to them at all whatsoever after their initial setup. Now, I do want to point out something, that this green plan, the recurring, this can be either a brick and mortar or remote type of arrangement. When I say brick and mortar, if you guys are not familiar with that terminology, it's, the health club. You have an office that's in a building, brick, mortar, you got a roof over your head, and you're having FaceTime. Otherwise, you could be a remote counselor that is speaking on the phone or doing teleconference. And those types of arrangements will yield the best results. But in this day in technology, where everything is digital, it's quick, it's easy, most of the time you're going to find that people are going to steer towards trying to do it on their own. And what you're going to find is that the attrition, meaning the fall off rate, is going to be much quicker here than it is here. So if I were to say what is the longest success, I would say it's kind of like this. This green one obviously is going to yield longer term clients. The blue one, it's going to probably go maybe 30% and then it's going to stop. And you can look at this at days if you want, or minutes, it doesn't matter. So 90 days, maybe 100, 120 days, whatever, you're going to lose this person that paid $199.99 because you're not meeting with them anymore. You're not holding them accountable. Okay? The red one, the only benefit and the only results and success is going to be based on how much time that online self-help customer is actually following the plan and determined and is self-motivated. So that pretty much spells all this out, the 3 different types of plans and how to generate revenue. And remember, it's all about your time. You know the worth of your time. As long as you can think about that and think about how much time you're going to be spending, and if you could be doing something else that will yield more income or revenue, then you need to decide. But let those be the factors. Also look at the demographics of your area. If you're in the Midwest, you might demographically be in an area that can afford to pay $199, $299, $499 for the initial setup. You may want to include body composition analysis, metabolic measurement, fitness assessment. There's all these different things that you could be doing to jack this initial setup or activation fee up. So always keep demographics in mind. What can your area, as far as an income level, afford, and don't price yourself out of the market. Again, thank you for your time, and we've got another episode coming up where I'm going to be speaking specifically of brick and mortar face-to-face counseling, coming up on episode 4. But once again, John Shira, your Chief Strategist Officer for building great business strategies. Thank you for joining this episode, and we'll look forward to seeing you again.